March is Women's History Month, and this is day 13 of talking about strong women, women you need to know. Today we're talking about a Lizzie Magie, also known as Elizabeth Phillips, born May 9th, 1866 in Illinois. She lived with her family there. Her dad was a newspaper publisher and abolitionist, and traveled with Lincoln even. So she was able to see a lot going on in history as a young age. In the early 1880s, she moved to D.C. and worked as a stenographer and a typist. She also wrote short stories, poetry, was a comedian, a stage actress, and a feminist and engineer. At 26, she got a patent when women only had 1% of the patents at that time. She got a patent on a way to make the rollers on a typewriter work more effectively. She also worked as a reporter in the early 1900s. Miss Lizzie, as she was known, was an outspoken activist, not only for the feminist movement, but for the rights of anybody, basically, who was not a white male. And we'll learn more about why. She was also a political activist and was practiced and followed what was known as Georgism. What is wrong with my hair up here today? I digress. Basically, that was an economic perspective that instead of taxing the individual, she felt that, and she got this from her father, she believed that they should look more at large landowners and base taxes based on their usefulness, their size, and their location, rather than taxing people's individual incomes. And it also dealt with the distribution of wealth after the government had collected these taxes and paid all their bills. How would that be distributed then to those who had paid taxes? She also believed, obviously, as an engineer and an inventor herself, she believed that women were just as capable in any business, in inventions, and in basically anything else that men could do as far as work, women could do just as well. In the 1800s, that was considered quite radical, of course. Even though she worked full-time to support herself, things were extremely difficult, but she knew that there were others who had it even worse. To make her point, she took out an ad in the paper selling herself to a husband who was willing to purchase her. Her point was that if you were not a white male, you had it hard in the country, not only as a woman, but anyone whose skin color was different than the white males. She made her point and got some attention and called herself an outspoken, proud feminist because of it. She was willing to talk to people about her beliefs and share her ideas on the oppression of other people, and did so quite often. She was also an inventor, and one of the things that she did quite well was invent games that helped show people about the economy and oppression and how some people are just always going to be ahead no matter what. One of the games that she invented was called the Landlord's Game. It became very popular, and she got a patent on that on January the 5th, 1904. This was even before women could vote. She renewed that patent in 1924 when it came up. By that time, she had invented a new game called the Bargain Day in 1937, another one in 1939 called the Kingsmen. One of the games showed how people some people got better deals in the department stores, and the Kingsmen showed about strategy. Her game, the Landlord's Game, grew in popularity, and she got the patent to get it on in 1932, and by 1939, actually it may have been, by 1939, it had a new name, a game that we know today as Monopoly. The Parker brothers in 1904 took that game and were told that a man named Charles Darrow had claimed, he told the Parker brothers that that was his idea, solely his, and they published it as the game we know as Monopoly. Needless to say, there were plenty of people that knew that that was not her game and came to her aid and tried to go through all the legalities and get the credit for that game, which Parker Brothers has never, ever done. Miss Lizzie said that she had only received $500 in total from that game ever, and in fact that it cost her more to make and distribute that game than she was ever able to receive ever financially. Parker Brothers never gave her credit. The best that they ever did was they decided to publish 2 more of the games that she invented, but refused to ever give her credit for that game that we know as Monopoly. Anyway, Miss Lizzie continued to spend the rest of her days until her death. She passed away on March the 2nd, I can't read my writing, or the 7th, 1949, continuing to fight for the rights of not only women, but those people of any other color. Today, on day 13, we celebrate inventor, strong woman, Miss Lizzie Magie. We salute you.